What's up, guys? Axis and Alloys here. We're back with another video, and today we are finally finishing our Global 1940 second edition game played over Discord. This game has ended on round 4. Now, for those of you in the comments, I know I couldn't believe it either, but the numbers have came back in, and the Allied powers did not achieve a victory here. So, we're going to go over to the Pacific side and show you guys how that all transpired. But first, let's go to the Europe side. We had Gibraltar. The people in Gibraltar, because they knew what happened on the Pacific side, they decided to go for Normandy, Bordeaux, Denmark, and Norway. They also decided to put blockers here so the Italians couldn't take Gibraltar. Took back Algeria. Took Egypt. Obviously, the Italians came back in and took it again. Moved their guys up. Fortified Iraq, with the French actually taking Transjordan for them. And then building in Persia. The Italian player decided to put his boats there. Used some planes to clear out that. Lost a fighter, though. Has all the transports here. Now, you might be saying, why can't the bomber come down and take it? Well, you have 2 fighters there. It's going to be highly unlikely with the fighters defending out of 4. You have the Germans did a little bit of fortifying here, fortifying around, building up. They took Belarus, Baltic states, and because of an Italian can opener, took Western Ukraine and Ukraine. Not taking Bessarabia, though. So they were able to take Ukraine and Western Ukraine and maintain their air force. So the Soviets took everything from Novgorod. They did build an infantry there and attacked Baltic states and Belarus. This protected from any kind of blitzing, so they fortified their guys here along this line, so they can't, get in. Now, obviously, as the Soviet player, I'm a little inclined to think we might win this. We have 3 tanks there. The Germans might take Bryansk, but then we can push them out, and the guys from Novosibirsk are in Samara. So they did lose. They probably would lose Novgorod to the 7 infantry up here, but. Strong area in Belarus. It's really the German bombers. I know I was a little critical at the beginning of the game, but German bombers are very effective. They have a very high chance of hitting. So we have this kind of ragtag Soviet army here. Now we're gonna go step by step because Japan was the victor here. So if we start, they have Tokyo. That's 1 victory city. Japan needs 6 victory cities in the Pacific. We're doing OOB rules. The Soviets came down from Amur and took Manchuria and Korea. The Japanese player did not care about that. They next have Shanghai and Hong Kong, each that's 3 cities. Now, the Japanese player attacked Yunnan, but the British then, they could not take it with anything. They had no land units left, so the British player came in and snagged it. And China's collecting 18 now, thanks to the Manchurian attack in Burma Road. So, on the next turn here, regardless of what Japan does, they built a factory in Indochina. You're getting 6 infantry plopped right down in probably Suian, just, pouring over the borders. So, the Chinese hordes would have definitely came in. Next, they have Manila, which is 4. They only took 1 money island. Which, the Anzac had a sub here. They tried to attack that carrier there at the end of the turn. Only 1 money island. I don't think I've ever seen Japan with less money islands than this. I'm at a loss for words here. They do have French Indochina. Now, I know No Limit in the comments was talking about, the Japanese player coming down. Well, they took New South Wales. Now, I was completely shocked by this. They could not use that. Anzac blocked the destroyer, used the destroyer there. They couldn't do shore bombard. But by a couple rounds of bad rolling, they ended up with a bomber and a tank left. A bomber and a tank left to take New South Wales. Very embarrassing, very disappointing for the Anzac, as they were doing quite good there. If they would have maybe bought 1 less sub and had that in infantry, it would have easily worked. But this is what's most shocking. Hawaii. The Japanese took it, and getting very minimal casualties, probably I think 2 casualties on the landing force. The USA had a force here. They tried to take it back. They failed. And they had an Anzac sub in 49, which they did take a hit on a battleship there. So, if you count up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Japanese players won. They've won the game. They held it till the end of this round 4. I don't think they would have been able to sustain this. This is probably the weakest Japan I've ever seen win. With a very lackluster fleet here, and their fleet's decimated here. In China, it's just appalling. It's the Japanese player got really lucky on some rolls. Granted, all the credit to him, he managed to pull it off. But he had some very lucky rolls, some rolls that probably shouldn't have gone his way in China and in the fleets over here. So the USA player decided to buy 2 fighters and just to protect the USA. But overall, I mean, this is a closer victory than I think the Axis would have wanted. With the UK being able to buy 3 tanks, in this case they bought 2 tanks and a mech, funneling into Egypt each turn, and they're just coming up. It's going to be hotly contested, and they're probably going to win out with the American might here. Holding Gibraltar, holding the Rock. They did take Norway and Denmark as a last-ditch effort to kind of give them some extra IPCs here, but what happened in Japan, in the Pacific, and with Japan really shouldn't have happened the way it ended out. Anzac even still has Celebes here, so it's certainly disappointing. It ended in 4 rounds. So for all of you BBR players, your games are ending in 8 rounds. We just had our one end in 4 rounds thanks to some really good luck here. And the main reason why was because we had this here, which served as you couldn't shore bombard. And, this was crucial, obviously, to the Anzac making a last stand. If it would have been in 49 instead of 62, it would have prevented the Axis units from taking Hawaii. So that was a critical error on our part. Now, granted, it's now in 49, but if that was there, one simple error, and obviously the fighter tactical attack in Season 6 would have been instrumental if had the USA won that. So there's a lot of rolls here that didn't go the U.S. Anzac FEC way, but they would push them out. I foresee them being able to push them out of China in like 2, 3, 4 rounds with, look, all they have here is 1 infantry that can get off. Now, granted, you're going to send this up and go with here and, get your infantry and move them off of Japan, but the fact that the Japanese player has won with the Soviets crossing the border, taking, establishing a communist regime here in Korea, it's not a pretty win by any means. So we're probably going to take a probably 1 to 2, maybe even 3 week break. At least our particular play group, as this did take a lot of time from what we were doing. Everyone here has lives outside of Axis and Allies, as everyone watching the video does. So I might. I finished a game of Axis and Allies Classic. I stopped recording halfway through on that one, just because it wasn't. I didn't like it. I thought the commentary wasn't as high quality as I can deliver. So we do have we could bust out Global War 1939 again. Maybe do some strategy analysis. I know I will. I might link a couple channels in the description if you want some good strategy analysis in 1939. I know Hilltop Pillbox did a series. I think Panzer J. 1939. I played a solo game of that and the game with Hilltop Pillbox, and they were both really great games. Gotta keep playing. Gotta keep perfecting our craft here at that. But overall, really, still a great game. Great game of Axis and Allies to play for the board shot there. But it was not pretty, but. The German player, I think they if they would have kept going, probably could have taken Moscow. Depends, but it's still fairly even. If you look at what the USA built here, the 2 fighters would be able to land in Midway if they attacked, and they could probably take Hawaii back. But because it's 6 victory cities here in the Pacific, even they didn't even need to take Calcutta or San Francisco. The Japanese player is victorious. They did win it. I know I've been very critical of the Japanese player, but he does deserve this win here. as UK Europe is trying to fend off the Euro Axis and fighting. I actually also could do some America content as well. I have an Instagram that I've been posting some various photos of the America game too. So stay tuned for some America content. Yeah, two great HBG games coming soon. So thank you all so much for watching and sticking by us for this game. Really huge game here. Great to play with some friends that I normally don't see in person out and about. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching this playthrough. Good luck in your future Axis and Allies endeavors. As a lot of people in the community say, may all your rolls be ones. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this game. This is Axis and Alloys, signing off.